What's up, YouTube? My name is Justin French, covering music for those who care, and today I'm in a parking lot again. I'm at work, and I kind of wanted to redo this review just because I felt a little rushed and didn't, I guess, process everything as a whole. So I'm kind of redoing this album review. So yesterday I reviewed the new Foo Fighters album, Concrete and Gold, and I said it was a major disappointment from an album that was really hyped from when it was announced to now. But this album, I think, is 10 times better than that album, and that album is Nothing More's The Stories We Tell Ourselves. This is the band's second commercial studio album release from Better Noise, which is a subsidiary of 11-7 Music. So, let me dive into... I got one negative that I have about this album, but other than that, I mean, this is such a killer album, honestly. The one thing I probably have to down is probably as much as I kind of like them, I don't know really why they added these kind of interludes in between 3-4 songs in the album. There's 6 of them, and it's an 18 track album. And they're from someone, I read the who did this. This is from Alan Watts. But I was kind of confused as to why they put this kind of stuff on the album. Besides the first one. The first one was pretty much them, and I think the last one was too. So, but other than that, I really dig these tracks. On the first taste that I really got of this album was the single Go to War, which is the first really commercial single from this album that's been on radio and major airwaves. So, I really like it. It's very anthemic. And I really like, I was coming home from the gym actually today, and the song wasn't even playing, and it popped in my head because I had it played on my Spotify, and I bought the album too. So, yeah, I really dig Johnny Hawkins' vocals on this album. He's got one heck of a range. If you've never listened to any of his stuff, definitely check his stuff out. His vocal range will blow you away. Probably one of the best vocalists of the 2010s that I've ever heard, honestly. But some of my favorite tracks on this album, there's 2 that definitely stand out to me. Musically, I would definitely have to credit The Great Divorce. And I really love the drums that kick off. I think the drums is pretty much the best part about this song. They're killer. They're it kind of feels like a speed metal song in the beginning, honestly, with how fast the pace of the drumming is. But it just kicks off into something else. And this is also a progressive rock album. So, it really stands out musically as a whole. And I really love the energy in it. And my other favorite track off of this album has to be Fadein, Fadeout, which is the last song on this album. And there's one lyric that really stands out, is in the, I guess, pre-chorus. He said, "Son, I watched you fade in, you will watch me fade out." It's like a candle burning. You light the candle, it burns, and then it fades out. It's basically like a song. It's basically like a life kind of quote. It's like, I watched you come into this world, and you're gonna see me in my last dying breath, basically. And it's really emotional. It kind of reminds me, because my grandfather recently passed away in July, and that song just brought something to me, honestly. I think it's probably one of my favorite songs of the year, honestly. So, I definitely give that a recommendation. Another track that's very interesting is Just Say When, which is, as much of this album is very like alternative metal and progressive, this one kind of slows it down with an acoustic guitar. So, and I saw someone kind of say they weren't a big fan of the song, but I think it's fantastic. The band kind of wanted to take this risk of doing something that I haven't heard them ever do. And to me, I think the risk paid off. It's a really beautiful song about a breakup. Most of the lyrics in this album are like introspectives of, I guess, what's going on in their life. Like, there's songs about trust. There's even a song about politics, which is Let 'Em Burn, which I feel is very political, because there's one line in there that reads, money is power and power decides. I feel like that's kind of what this political system is, especially with Donald Trump as the president of the United States, and how rich he is. So, but another track that I definitely had a fun listening to is the track "Funny Little Creatures," which to me it kind of sounds like if the Killers added a whammy bar to their guitar sound. I think this is the kind of sound that the band would, the kind of song that they would add. It kind of feels like it would remind me of their debut, Hot Fuss. So, and little reminder, Killers have a new album coming out next week. I'll be reviewing that, so definitely stay tuned for that. Back to this album, and Ripping Me Apart, riff-wise, it reminds me a little bit in the beginning of Rage Against the Machine, honestly, with the guitar part. And I think Mark Valunga, if I'm pronouncing it right, my bad, does a killer job in the guitar part, and I love Danny Oliver's bass. His bass is really turned up on this album. And also Ben Alexander, I believe that's what his name is. If I'm not Anderson. Sorry, Ben Anderson. Yeah, Ben Anderson. I'm sorry. I think he does some killer drum parts in this album. So all together, I think the band kind of brings something new to the table in all the songs, and it kind of keeps you interested into keep listening to the song. The album's about an hour long, but it's definitely worth listening for more than just one listen. So my thoughts on this album, I thought it was really fantastic to listen to. If you're into alternative metal or progressive rock or maybe a little bit of new metal, I'd definitely give that album a listen. So my rating for this album would have to be a 9.5 out of 10. So, yeah, thank you all for watching this video. I'm sorry I had to kind of redo this video. I just wasn't satisfied with the first version of this review. So, thank you all for watching, and see y'all later.